beautiful it is out there. Look. Look how beautiful it is out there. Wow. God, it is so gorgeous. So gorgeous.
Shalom, Kahala, Yahawah, Ba'Shem Yahawashi, Ba'Shem Qadash, double honors my teachers, the apostles and elders of the great millstone. Peace and mercy to the elect, who are the house of David, reborn again in this generation. And Shalom to the 130 Yasharallah, who today are known as the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, who before losing our true heritage were known as, and still are, the true Hebrew Israelites of the Holy Bible. So today we're going to talk about how the angels are starting to make their presence known to the world, right? With the recent face pillars, right? Belacaras, and over in I think in Peru, and then with all these other sightings that we've been seeing or been hearing about, where even the government's having to have hearings on it. And from these two videos that I shared, right? The first video apparently takes place in 2013, and it happened here in America somewhere, but there isn't much more information I can find about it. But just looking at that video, some people says it looks fake, but hey, you're gonna have to have faith, right? That the Lord is gonna, send His chariots, and regardless, right? Regardless if that video is fake, right? That doesn't negate the fact of all these other sightings we've seen that have been recorded, that have been, shown to be unidentifiable. Well, I choose to believe that this video that I showed is in fact a true video. Now, as you can see in this image, you can see this bigger chariot is letting out smaller chariots, right? In fact, some people even said that bigger, what looks like an eyeball, could be a portal, and that these chariots are actually coming through this portal and going about their business. Well, let's go and read this. It says, the eyes of Yahawah, Ba'Shem Yahawashi, are in every place, beholding the evil and the good. So one thing that I remember with the elder Yahawah from Texas, he mentioned that, you know, all these videos that we see, these chariots doing something or basically hovering over a house somewhere, these chariots aren't just there to be spotted or, you know, there to, you know, make appearances. No, they're there doing a job, right? They were sent out, right, and they are performing a task which the Most High, you know, requested of them, be it to alter the mind of somebody, to persuade somebody, to send fear into the heart of others. You know, we've all read in the scriptures examples of when these angels have came down to earth and have guided and persuaded humanity. Well, that's what we're ultimately taking these videos of, right? These videos are the angels performing their works, right? And they being, you know, sent out by the Lord are his eyes, right? They're the ones that come and report to the Lord what they've seen, right? They probably even show him images of what they've encountered and what they've recorded, right? So hence, this is where it says the eyes of the Lord, okay? In the video we just watched, those little white dots that are going extremely fast, that's a very common sight for these chariots. Now, in the second video we seen, it was pretty crazy, right? It was what appeared to have been an angel that was revealed by the lightning of the electrical explosion. You can see this entity had kind of ruled back and was basically like throwing some sort of like energy or basically something at it. In fact, it even looked like he had a rod in his hand, right? Like a scepter, I guess you could say. Now, just like I said earlier, you know, the alien sightings over in Peru, right? All these manifestations, these are all things that have been prophesied in the Bible, right? Let's go and read this. This is Judges 13:20. For it came to pass when the flame went up towards heaven from off the altar, that the angel of Yahawah ascended in the flame of the altar, and Manoah and his wife looked on it and fell to their faces to the ground. Now, in this, you know, chapter, you have the parents of Samson, the judge. You know, when they were inside of the temple, an angel had basically revealed himself to Samson's parents to let him know that they were going to bring forth a child and how they had to conduct themselves because how Samson was going to be a Nazarite. So think of Nazarites kind of like Buddhist monks amongst the Hebrew Israelites, right? They practice particular rituals and customs which give them an additional benefit or additional force with the Lord. Hence why Samson was so strong and whatnot. But the point here, that the reason I bring this out is that it says that the angel of Yahawah ascended in the flame of the altar. Now, there's other parts in the Bible that show that angels, that they not only do they communicate through the fire, but that they traverse through it. Okay, this is a perfect example of this. Now, that being said, when you get into electricity, all that electricity is a highly controlled and highly intense fire. Okay, and this is why same thing with lightning, thunder, that's also, you know, things of the higher realm. And when you see in this spiritual entity what appeared to be exploding, this transformer, again, it just shows that these angels are interacting with items in our realm. Now, let's go and get this scripture. This is 2nd Ezra 9:2. Then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. For like as all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest, right? And like it's saying here, right, the end is manifested, Akim, right? We are living in the last days of this aeon, this age, and the Lord is now making himself seen, right? He is beginning to visit the world, which is why all these events are happening. The diverse earthquakes and all around the world. You got these fires that are breaking out. Yes, it could be Esau and his weather modification, but the point being is that just the events of the Lord coming and checking up on humanity is agitating the characters here upon earth. One of those characters being Esau, right? He feels, or he knows that his time is short, so hence he's starting to get sloppy. He's starting to pull out all of the tricks out of his bag, right? He's causing fires. He's causing all these different things to go on, right? Which is, again, it can all be attributed to the Lord visiting the earth, right? All these chariots that are being seen, that are being reported, it's gone to the level where Esau can no longer disregard it as conspiracy theories or somebody having too much to drink at night. No, they have to now come up with some cockamamie narrative about how they're in communications with aliens and they've been here and all this stuff, and they've given us technology, and we've given it to Lockheed Martin and all these companies to reverse engineer it. Well, again, these are all signs that the Lord is visiting the earth, right? And you can see it on the opposite side, right? The world is turning into a far more wicked place, and that's because the truth is coming out. So just as, what does the Bible say? A false balance is an abomination to the Lord. Well, you're not going to have this rise of wickedness and evil in the world come up and then not have the opposite. Well, that's why you're seeing Akim brothers, the Negro, Latino, Native Americans, waking up and going out to the streets, making video lessons like this. Is because the Lord is also bringing the equal force to match the wickedness, right? You have an equal force of righteousness, right? And an equal force of wickedness. Now, wickedness is far more spread out, but the fact is that, what does it say? A little bit of righteousness is better than a whole bunch of wickedness. I'm paraphrasing that, but there's a scripture that says something to that effect. I can't think of it off the top of my head, though. The whole point being is that these videos are going to start becoming a lot more common, right? This is Zechariah 6:1. And I turned and lifted up mine eyes and looked, and behold, there came 4 chariots out from between 2 mountains, and the mountains were mountains of brass. And these mountains of brass were basically extremely large UFOs, so big that they went over the horizon of the earth. And so much so that they looked as if they were mountains, right? But that's how huge these chariots are going to be when they really start revealing themselves. Okay, these are visions that Zechariah seen of the end times, right? So we're going to see this, okay? We're going to see this for ourselves, Lord willing, if you make it to this point, right? And ideally, Lord willing, we all make it to the end, and we're all brought up into those chariots. But again, this is the beginning of all these events starting to play out. This is why we're seeing these incredible UFO videos. We've never seen some things like this before. Now, that's not saying that these chariots have not been seen throughout history, because in this image here, you can see that the chariots have been recorded throughout history, right? Let me zoom in here in a little bit. Right here's some good images over China. You got the chariots here flying. There's what looked like a comet coming down, but then you had a chariot zoom out of it and basically go the opposite way, right? Down here you have over China you had this UFO with these 2 or chariot with these 2 like orbs, and it started to beam down light upon the residents here, right? And you had this man here, Norman Berggren. He was a NASA scientist, right? He came out and said that the angels were tall black men, right? And the thing is like I had mentioned, the chariots have all been recorded throughout history. Right here's from a 17th century French token. It shows that there was a shield in the sky, right? That ultimately was a chariot. And then you have this image or painting from 1350 called the Crucifixion, but in the Visoki Dekani Monastery in Kosovo, Yugoslavia, right? It shows, in this case, it's obviously Cesare Borgia, but the point being is that behind Cesare Borgia, you have these two vehicles. And what are these? Well, these are the chariots, right? Because again, the chariots were a known phenomenon. They were known that these flying stars or these flying, balls of light ultimately had angels inside of them, right? And here's that same image of this shield from Romania, right? In the 1300s, it shows a shield in the sky, and these are coins that were also minted to commemorate this, right? So you see, Akim, the chariots are making themselves known, and these videos are only going to become more common, and it's a beautiful thing because to Esau and all the wicked leaders of the world, they know that this is their end, right? What do the scriptures say? Let me actually get that. Here it is. I got it. This is Philippians 1:28. And in nothing terrified by your adversaries, which is to them an evident token of perdition, destruction, but to you of salvation, and that of God. Right? See, so to us, Akim, we see these chariots, we see these spiritual entities being revealed. To us, that's a token of our salvation. We know that the end is near, and this nightmare is going to be over, and we're going to soon be in our kingdom, Lord willing. But to Esau and to all the people of this world, even to the Israelites who are just asleep, the 2/3 that are asleep in the world, it's an evident token of destruction unto them. So hopefully this video was edifying, Akim. Hopefully you enjoy those captured videos. Until next time, I want to give all honor and glory and praises to Yahawah, B'Hashem Yahawashi, B'Hashem Qadash. Double honors my teachers, the apostles, and elders of the great millstone. Peace and mercy to the elect. Shalom.